Live from Fastport Studios in New Orleans, this is Nemo Nation. Take it away, Dave and Jimmy.
Speaking of Fastport, by the way, we want to give a shout out to our friends at Fastport for whom this studio would not exist had they not stepped in and kind of helped us make that 6-week transition that we actually needed 6 months to do. How we're on the air is beyond a miracle. I will stop beating this particular horse the moment I stop being in awe and wonder of the whiz kids, Nick DeMeo, our good friend Foam Master Dre, Touchdown Tara, Tea Time with Tara. When we say tea, we mean teeing it up, not anybody having a fancy pants sip of any Earl Grey or nonsense like that.
No crumpets?
No crumpets. No crumpets here.
What is a crumpet?
It's a fancy pants word for a sugared biscuit.
Ben Wilkes is with us from NMFTA.
Really quickly, I got to do this. I have to do this.
Okay.
Fastport, by the way, is solving America's toughest recruiting and workforce challenges through research, technology, and people. From registered apprenticeships to veteran readiness, you can learn more at fastport.com or nationalapprenticeship.org. Now, cometh the moment, cometh the Wilkins. Take it away, Dave.
Ben Wilkes, good morning.
Good morning. Awesome to be on the new platform, guys.
Whoa, it's awesome to have you because this is where you live, right? I mean, this is the world, and we thought that we were in the big world. This is the universe right here, man. It's amazing. Ben is the Cybersecurity Principal Engineer, of course, at NMFTA, the National Motor Freight Traffic Association. Ben is with us on the program many times, and hopefully he'll continue to do that. But the question this morning that just developed, Ben, do you know what a crumpet is? Have you ever had a crumpet?
Well, I do, Dave. I've got a secret advantage here, though, because my wife is from the UK.
Oh, there you
I go over and visit her family over there pretty often. So
Fantastic.
I do the tea and crumpets regularly when we're over there.
Yeah. So what? It's one of those things where you hear it, you think you kind of know what it is. It's like a little pastry.
Yeah, they're like a tea cake, right?
Okay.
The best way to think
of the one that gets me every time I go over there, and I bring it up because we just had this conversation last night. We're getting ready for a trip over there, and I still stumble over the chips versus fries debate.
Oh my
chips
God!
Aren't chips over there? Chips are French fries, right? That's what they're referred to.
Yeah,
gets me every time.
By the way, and here's why: because Waterloo is still really fresh. Really fresh. They can't be calling anything a French fry over there. For those of you who don't know, a crumpet actually is the most equivalent thing in regards to the way it looks. It's someplace between a pancake and an English muffin. Is that fair?
That is. You load them up with butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what you're telling us, the crumpet really is a vehicle for butter. I kind of like that. I can kind of go with it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Got it.
Ben, what's happening, brother? What's going on?
Well, we've been all over the place here the last couple of weeks. We just released our cargo crime reduction framework, so the kind of the intersection of cybersecurity and cargo crime, cargo fraud. We've been focused on pretty heavily. And we've been traveling a little bit. We were just out at the Cyber Truck Challenge. So we sponsor an event that brings together industry, OEM, vehicle manufacturers, and students that are studying vehicle security, embedded technology security. And we come together for a week and learn and test and challenge each other. So that's always a good time.
Let me ask you this, too, because in regards to kind of bringing students together to do that thing, is it a selective process? Do kids sign up for it? I mean, I don't know if you heard about this, but by the way, there was the largest collection of people did 1, 2, 3 red light in Anaheim, California just the other day, and everybody was allowed to kind of play. How do you guys go about getting the students to get involved? How are they part of the process?
So there's an application process. They need to be in a related degree program, either a undergraduate or a graduate, postgraduate degree in the related field. They do apply, and then the applications are reviewed, and the students get selected, and we bring them in. So we fly them in and put them up, and they spend the week with the engineering teams from the OEMs and some pretty talented instructors in the field that volunteer their time. So.
Is there, my follow-up, and then Dave's got a question for you. My follow-up is, so there basically is a curriculum that is planned for these guys, and they kind of take them through to kind of get them up to speed. Is there a certificate? Is there any kind of testing? Will people be tested later? I mean, how does it kind of resolve itself?
Well, so the way this event is set up is we have 2 days of instruction, so it's pretty full on. They're long days. It's kind of like drinking out of a fire hose for the first couple of days, and
like the show.
That,
I understand.
Yeah. The second half of the week is what we call an assessment. So it's sort of a choose your own adventure. They can take what they've learned, and then they apply it in a practical environment, and then they present their findings at the end of the event on the final day, on the Friday. They present what they found and what they learned, what worked, what didn't work, and then they give that presentation to the vehicle owners, vehicle manufacturers. Going
back to the actual the piece, the literature, I guess you might call it, the Cargo Crime Reduction Framework, Ben. One of the things you point out is that first off, you can just get it. You put your name, your email address, that sort of thing, and download the report, as we've talked about in terms of the reports for the fleets, the owner-operators, the small fleet, the larger fleet. So all of this stuff that you guys are putting out, you're developing quite a library that folks can really use as reference, because this stuff is moving so fast. I'll bet the $35 billion that you note in the order, the page where you can sign up for the download, I'll bet that $35 billion is long past since maybe yesterday afternoon, right? I mean, this is growing so fast.
It is, yeah, and it's really exploded since the pandemic era. When everything went digital, went remote, and we really saw, there was a change in the buying patterns, the freight patterns, and there was also a change in the tactics being employed by cargo criminals, and it really exploded, the 2020 and 21, and since then, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. They've found a profitable way to engage in fraud and steal cargo, and it's up to us to really find ways to start to change that trend, right? So it doesn't grow year over year over year. We can start to get out in front of it. And that's really what this is designed, is to really offer the number one kind of a primer on how these criminals engage in these activities, what techniques they're using, who's involved from both the threat actor and the law enforcement side, and then draw some, connections between prevention methods, both in we're kind of familiar with operational security, physical security, and trucking. We've been dealing with that for a long time. But cybersecurity is also directly related to preventing cargo crime. So that's really the dots we're trying to connect with this framework.
One of the things, and I don't want to draw a false parallel, Ben, and we only got about a minute left here, but Truckers Against Trafficking, they are still, after all of these years, still bringing awareness to the problem. Are you still bringing awareness to the problem? Are guys saying, well, my fleet's too small to worry about this?
It's all they do for a living, man. That's it. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, right.
But nobody is... How do you feel about the prospects of people saying, oh, I get it?
Yeah, it is. That's really the name of the game. It's about awareness. It's about raising the awareness and really highlighting the point that no one is too small to be a target here. We're all targets. It's, you just don't want to be the easiest target. And we just repeat that message over and over. That's the motivation behind creating this library of resources, to really provide everyone with the tools and the resources they need and the education they need to, number one, understand the threat, but then also understand there's something you can do about it. And it doesn't have to break the bank to start to fight this stuff.
Cybersecurity Principal Engineer for NMFTA, Ben Wilkes, has joined us this morning. By the way, your new name is, I ain't got to run faster than the bear, Wilkes. I just got to run faster than you. Thank you, Ben.
I love it.
Thank you, Ben.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You got it, my friend.